I'm Leslie Weidenbender. Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. We're in the State House hallways, and today we're with Senator Doug Eckerty, a Republican from Yorktown. Senator, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Leslie.
We're about halfway through the session, and you're pushing legislation that would help property owners with their property tax appeals. Tell us about why that matters.
Right, we've got a bill out there that helps people when they go through their appeal processes. Today, if you make an appeal and you're successful in your appeal, you could be asked to come back again next year and make the appeal all over again, and then the next year, and the next year, and the next year. That was really not the intent of legislation back in 2007. Upon a successful appeal, the property should then be flatlined and subject to trending either up or down at that point. So there's misunderstandings of how the statute is applied from back in 2007, so we're trying to clean that up so people don't have to go back every year and do this process all over again.
This is a budget year, and the budget has just come over from the House to the Senate. What are your priorities as you look at the budget this year?
Well, our first priority will be to balance the budget as we have been doing in years past. Our second priority will be to maintain a good surplus, a good reserve account like we have in the past. That's important for a lot of reasons. And then beyond that, our spending priorities will be, first of all, will be education, and then infrastructure and roads, bridges, maintenance, and things of that nature to make sure that we're able to move folks and goods in and out of Indiana to help our economy grow.
Can you talk a little bit about why you think infrastructure funding in particular is so important?
Well, you know, we talk a lot about education funding, in particular sometimes higher education funding, and we want to try to keep as many of our folks here in the state as we possibly can after they get out of higher ed. But if we don't have the infrastructure in place to allow commerce to flow freely and for companies to want to come to the state of Indiana and grow here, then our graduates are going to leave the state. So we have to have both, you know, success rates at higher ed and a good infrastructure to support commerce and business.
So Senator, I know one of your priorities is to create a balanced budget, make sure the final budget is balanced. Tell us why that matters to you.
Well, if you go back and you look at the bond rating in the state of Indiana, we have a AAA bond rating, and we're only one of, I believe, 7 states that has one of those. You know, that in and of itself saves the state of Indiana many tens of millions of dollars a year in interest payments on bonds for capital projects, so it's important that we do that. It's also important as companies are looking to come to Indiana to expand, they want to see us be fiscally responsible, have a balanced budget, because deficits mean eventually you're going to have a tax increase. Nobody wants that.
And I know that the legislature is taking a hard look at the Rockport Power Plant. Mm-hmm. Tell us why that is important to you.
Rockport's very important to me because, just so people will know, it's a project that converts coal to natural gas. And the problem is it's a good idea, it's a good concept, but the market has changed so much for natural gas, and the price has dropped so much, and there's so much supply on the market that was not there 4 or 5 years ago. The way that program is set up, if it makes money, our ratepayers share 50-50 in the profits, but if it loses money, our ratepayers eat all of the losses 100%. We've got to rebalance that, take a harder look at it, make sure our consumers are protected from the downsides.
And are you hoping that that legislation does pass?
Pass through the Senate, pass through committee. It's over in the House right now. I think it'll be amended a few times with good amendments, and I think it'll pass through the House.
Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us. I'm Leslie Weidenbender with Comcast Newsmakers.